E Radio.
Greatness Coaching with Heidi M.
Today in Greatness Coaching with Heidi M, we are discussing social media addiction. Maybe you have it and you don't realize it. We're going to talk to Heidi M. As always, Heidi, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Ian. How is it going?
It's going well. How is it going your side? How was your weekend?
Oh, so brilliant. It was wonderful. Thank you. Yes, and I spent quite a bit of time researching this weekend, especially on the social media addiction thing. And then I thought, how ironic that I'm researching on social media about social media addiction.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
And yeah, it's fantastic. And YouTube and those things, So you opened by saying that maybe somebody has a social media addiction and they don't know it. You know what? You always know when you have an addiction. You will know if you are honest with yourself and if you sit quietly with yourself for a few minutes and just see what you are feeling and feeling the feelings. Feelings are there to be felt. They're not there to be blocked out or overridden by doing certain actions like permanently or obsessively being on your social media or alcohol or drugs or whatever. It's because we don't feel our feelings that we are putting plasters on it with this thing called addiction. That's why I again, and I think I've said this so many times in our previous conversations, but you have to be real with yourself and you have to sit with yourself. You have to be willing to sit with yourself. No children, no social media, no phones, no interference, no noise. Go and sit and see, what am I feeling? People should be doing this as a matter of course. And I think if you do this, you'll know when you have a social media addiction or any addiction for that matter. You gave me the tip of watching that Netflix docudrama, The Social Media Dilemma, or The Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
I saw something in there which was such a freak out for me and a huge eye opener. And I'm not even addicted to social media, but here we go. The only industries calling their customers users are the illicit drug trade and software. And software is social media. They are the only two industries calling their customers users, Eon. This means that if you are a user in this sense of social media, you are having the same kind of addiction as somebody who is using illicit drugs like heroin, cocaine, cat, whatever you can find. Isn't that telling? That is so interesting for me. It fires up the same areas in your brain as street drugs, for crying out loud. That is just dreadful. So I think we should just say to ourselves and to each other here, what is an addiction? Any addiction. And that we handle and talk about social media addiction like we do any other addiction, because it's the same thing. It's the same brain disease. It's a lack of control or an inability to stay away from a substance or a behavior. A lack of control or an inability to stay away from this thing. And this always does something to you which starts with a decreased socialization. It's the abandoning of your commitments. and your ignoring of your relationships, any relationship. It could be a romantic or your family or your work relationships, or just relationships in general, that you are moving away from those relationships, and it smells like isolation. You also abandon your commitments, which again is a kind of isolation. That you and the decreased socialization as well is isolating yourself, because the more your life revolves around this addiction, around social media, the more you ignore the risk factors, and the more you ignore your social and other commitments. Ignoring the risk factors is also a very big sign of any addiction. But let's see, what are the risk factors here in social media addiction? People spiral into a depression, but that's also accompanied by an anxiety. And then getting this unhealthy body image or views of your life. You see, everybody just posts their best pics on social media. You're not going to post your worst pics. I know I post my best ones.
Yes.
If a picture or a video doesn't come out nice, I don't want it on there.
But Heidi,
I'll just delete it.
The worst
Yes.
of all is these people do not even look like their best pictures because they've had it doctored or photoshopped. And then you trying to have a big ass like that. And then it's not possible because it's not real.
And that is the unhealthy image, the warped idea of what other people look like. And you know that with Snapchat, they had a study very recently, as in last month recently, that teenagers are incredibly depressed because every time they look in the mirror, they don't look like the pictures they put on social media. So you make yourself thinner and you pull your filter over there, and you look amazing when you post this thing, but you can't get away from the fact that you have to look in the mirror sometimes, even if it's just to comb your hair or get dressed in the morning, and you do not look like that. So that gives people immense anxiety, followed by immense depression. And you know that teenagers are incredibly susceptible. The suicide rate has skyrocketed because you are wiring your brain by doing the Snapchat thing, or any social media for that matter, with your pictures and your images, that you think you look like that. And then it's a massive shock to your brain and to your mind and to your soul when you look in the mirror and it's not that. And people cannot deal with that.
Yeah.
It is frightening and it's quiet. Yes. What did you want to say?
And also, it's not only to you, it's also to the person meeting you for the first time, like on a blind date. And then they see you and you're like, excuse me, who are you? Because they don't recognize you.
Exactly. And you know what happens then? That the energy that you radiate, other people pick up on that and they give you that right back. So now you are radiating an energy and a feeling of being this person that you are essentially not. Somebody meets you and their reaction towards you is different because they're shocked. They don't understand. Well, they will understand, but I don't understand why you in the whole world want to make you look like somebody else, or like so vastly different that people don't even recognize you. So then you get that terrible energy back and that shock reaction back from the person that you are meeting. And then you start feeling inadequate and lower self-esteem. Why is this person feeling like this towards me? Why am I feeling like this in this situation? And that again leads to the depression and the anxiety. Depression and anxiety want to go together. They're hand in hand. They're evil twins. And it spirals. And then the worse you feel about yourself, the more you want to make yourself look like somebody else or something else. The less you are yourself. Look, we can can only do us in life. I can only do me, and you can only do you, Eon. You are not designed or hardwired to do someone else. You must do you. So this becomes a very complex condition. It's a brain disease, like I said in the beginning, that sucks one in. And one has this compulsive behavior despite these harmful consequences. That is essentially what addiction is. Any addiction. It's going on, continuously doing it, but you know deep down that this is harming you.
Yeah.
And as it is with addiction, any addiction, you are not alone. You are not living on an island. It is bound to have an effect on the people around you, in your home, in your community, in your circle of friends. It's not just you. So what happens in the brain is that addictive drugs and addictive behaviors provide a shortcut to this instant gratification. You instantly gratified. And this is the age of instant gratification, where the brain gets flooded with dopamine and other neurotransmitters, all these feel-good things, these feel-good hormones. And if you think about it, in nature, rewards only come after a period of time and after putting in a whole bunch of effort. Let's say you're working hard in the gym and you are consistent in your training. After a month, you'll start seeing, or 2 weeks, you'll start seeing some changes. This morning in the gym, I saw a lady who's been working out for only 1 month of her life, and she was bubbling over with the rewards that she's already getting. You can just see dopamine coming from that chick's brain. It was so amazing to see, but she really worked hard. So that's natural. That's how it goes. That's how it's supposed to be, not this instant gratification thing. And because your brain is an adaptation machine, your body also an adaptation machine, your brain adapts, and then you see, okay, all right, so now the instant gratification, it was so quick. Can I do it even quicker, because this quick is not quick enough for me? And then there's only so quickly that you can be gratified before it becomes a complete malfunction almost in your brain.
Heidi?
So that is essentially what happens, yes.
Are you also referring to basically when people see that their photos got 5,000 likes, that kind of gives you a dopamine hit because, wow, look at me now.
Yes, the likes and the comments. You go, my girl. You are great. You are fantastic. And the likes and the likes and the likes. And then next time when you only get 1,000 likes, what is that? Now, what is wrong with me? What is this picture? I must have gained weight. This is terrible. I hate myself. How can this be? And then it's a lay down for you. Sure. And then your brain doesn't understand what is going on. Our idea of what is valuable and how we are valued and how we value ourselves is just a complete mess at the moment. It's just, I see, as I'm speaking to you about this, I see things malfunctioning and misfiring in the brain as this is happening. So how to combat this thing? I think I've made the point abundantly about how terrible this is for you. The big problem, of course, is that it's so readily available. There are ways to overcome. There are ways to combat this. And I want to say, like with any addiction, the first step is admitting it to yourself. And you can't admit anything to yourself if you don't know it. And then I just want to emphasize again, please, like we said at the beginning, please go and sit with yourself for a few minutes. Feel feelings. See where you're at in your life. Be in touch with yourself. And then when you realize and you're honest with yourself and you can say to yourself, okay, I think I've got a problem here. All right, the word think won't be in there. You should know. You'll know if you're honest. Okay, I've got a problem. So a good way to start is, because all the resources say, go cold turkey. I am not a big fan of cold turkey. Um, it's going to be too much, especially if you're in very deep. It's going to be too much, and you're going to give up. The idea is to change your habits. And habit changes take a while. It takes consistent effort and it takes time. So I am not a big fan of the going cold turkey. I would say start small by turning off your notifications, for example. Turn them off, keep all the social media there, but just turn them off so that you have to go into the apps to go and see what's happening, who's liking you, who's not liking you, and how long it took for these people to react to whatever picture you posted or whatever writing or post you made on Facebook. I know we don't do so much of pictures there. So turn off the notifications so that it has to be a little bit of an effort to go and see what's what. Another one that I can say that links with turning off the notifications is limiting yourself. So if your notifications are turned off and you say to yourself, all right, I'm not going to have the phone next to me. So whenever I feel like it, I'm going to open the app. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to do this work for 50 minutes, 50, and then I'm going to take 10 minutes out of the hour and I'm going to check my social media and reply perhaps or give a few likes here or there. And then I'm going to close everything again. So you're limiting yourself, you're timing yourself. You can even set your alarm if you're scared that you're going to miss your social media window, So just make a new plan for limiting your use. And then another one that it's so obvious, but we don't think about it. Get a hobby, man. For crying out loud, get a hobby. I know for me, for Johannesburg, and I know they've got Cape Talk as well. On the hour, they have on 702, the radio station, they have the news bulletin. And I know it takes only about 4 to 5 minutes for this news bulletin. I love current news and I love knowing what's going on and I love the country and it's the wheelings and dealings going on. So I give myself a 5-minute break out of every hour by listening to the news. That's my thing that I do. My hobby is walking or going to the gym or reading something interesting. Find something else to do. And sometimes that really just takes a conscious decision. Something else that you can do is check in with friends and family. So ask somebody, how are they doing? Even if it's on WhatsApp, which is for all practical purposes also a social media app, but check in with somebody who is close to you, not just these faceless people who like your stuff on social media. So ask the question, how are you? How's it, bro? How are you doing? And then check in your next break that you take. Check if there's an answer and if you can reply. Then also something that you can contemplate is making it a treat or a reward. That you do your work and then checking your social media is your reward. That you don't just do it as a matter of course, that it's not just your everyday normal doing and going on in the day. It's your reward for having done your work or having done your chores or having done your studying that you were supposed to do. So I think if people just go slow, take it easy, and pace yourself and do these new habits. And when you start drinking coffee without sugar, if you're used to 3 teaspoons of sugar in your coffee, of course it's going to suck the first 3 days. But I promise you, day 4, you're going to start enjoying it. And day 10, you're going to go, I can't believe I ever put sugar in my coffee. And it's the same with any habit that you build. You have to create new neural pathways. And this is the way to do it. It's a habit. And you are replacing your old bad habits that have become so automatic with new, fresh habits, which are going to improve your life, your quality of life. People who are addicted to social media most often don't even realize how their quality of life has been compromised.
Heidi, I only do Facebook, but I've noticed that in the past, if I make a conscious decision to avoid Facebook, then it doesn't work for me. But when I get really, really busy, I kind of, at the end of the day, I realize, wow, I was never on Facebook today. And then I see when my last post was, and I kind of feel proud of myself. So I think all in all is to keep busy.
Exactly, Eon. You are hitting the nail on the head there. Get a hobby. Get something constructive to do, for crying out loud. Being on Facebook half of the day is not constructive. Find a hobby. Read. Do something with your hands. Get that thinking putty if you want. Get a fidget spinner, for crying out loud, if you have nothing else to keep your hands busy. Take a walk. I'm such an advocate for taking a walk. And then you're also getting in your 10,000 steps a day, and you look better. And when you look better, you'll feel better. Do something. Keep busy. Find a hobby. Yes, you're correct.
So Heidi, if I have a social media addiction, can I call you and can you help me?
Of course you may. Of course you may. I'll take you through some habits and some pathways that we can create for you. You can reach me on Heidi at homebound.co.za, or you can WhatsApp me on 079 815 6305.
Excellent. Heidi, I know you're also using social media mainly for business, just like I am doing. And that's another topic, actually, because it is very important for your business to have a social media presence. But today we were focusing more on personal use.
Yes, correct, Eon. And when something is a business, it's you're thinking about it differently. And I'm yet to hear of the person who got addicted to their business social media.
No, I don't think so.
I think you're safe.
Yeah. Brilliant. But
well, you have my number. If you're not, let me know.
Heidi,
Thank you so much.
Thank you as always. And then remember to, if you have Netflix, remember to watch The Social Dilemma. It's a documentary. It was filmed this year. It says 2020. 13 plus age restriction, and it explores the dangerous human impact of social networking, with tech experts sounding the alarm on their own creations. Now that's one of the scariest things I've ever seen, talking about your own creations like that. It's an hour and a half, 1 hour and 34 minutes, so it won't take you too long. You probably won't fall asleep while watching it.
I think go for it. Yes, give it a watch. And spread the word. Spread the word. Don't keep this information, the greatness coaching information, to yourself. Talk to people. We are our brother's keeper, and we have to keep an eye open for each other. Otherwise, what is life?
Exactly. Heidi, next week we're talking about morning routines. That's going to be interesting.
Yes, we are. Right, I can't wait. And I'll speak to you in about a week's time.
Excellent. You enjoy the rest of your day. Heidi, thank you as always.
Bye-bye now.